InvestorIdeas.com podcasts.
Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of InvestorIdeas.com podcasts. Today's podcast is sponsored by Cannabis Swiss Corporation, trading on the OTC as CSUI, a fully licensed cannabis cultivation and distribution company in Switzerland for recreational tobacco products and medical CBD oils. In today's podcast, we're going to be looking at a few private and public company announcements, looking at DIXI Brands Incorporated and BR Brands LLC. Also looking at CURLF Holdings Incorporated, trading on the CSE as CURA, and the OTCQX as CURLF. Shoppers Drug Mart Incorporated, as well as Medical Marijuana Incorporated, trading on the OTC as MJNA. So first starting with DIXI Brands and BR Brands LLC, who announced that the previously disclosed reverse takeover transaction of DIXI by BR Brands will be completed this Saturday on October 31st. Now, the combined company has been renamed Bell Rock Brands Incorporated, and DIXI's stock symbol on the Canadian Securities Exchange will be changed to BRCK. And DIXI anticipates that trading of its shares will recommence on or about November 4th. We're very pleased to announce the upcoming closing of the business combination of BR Brands and DIXI. This transformative transaction was the result of a long-term strategic and value-focused approach to building a dominant house of brands within the cannabis sector, said Andrew Shelbold, the former chairman of BR Brands and new chairman of Bell Rock. Now, Bell Rock unites two of the most established brands in cannabis to create an IP of brand-focused multi-state operator unique in its strategy and scale. Under Bell Rock management, the platform is poised to exponential growth through both M&A and organic R&D, and is purpose-built to cater to all the industry's fastest-growing segments. Now, Bell Rock's current portfolio consists of two iconic cannabis brands with deep history, Mary's Brands, and DIXI, as well as two growing California-based brands, Rebel Coast and Defonce. Now, Mary's was founded in 2013 and is an innovator of the cannabis and hemp-infused products for adult-use medical skincare, wellness, and pet markets. The company's robust library of intellectual property includes a U.S. patent for its acclaimed transdermal technology, and since 2010, DIXI has created a wide array of award-winning beverages, gummies, mints, taffies, as well as two well-recognized CBD supplement brands, Acesso Wellness and Therabis. The joining of BR Brands and DIXI is unique in that together, Bell Rock possesses one of the industry's broadest branded product portfolios, catering to the growing and ever-evolving cannabis consumer. Our portfolio is one of the most diversified in the industry and is based on a relentless pursuit of enhancing the customer experience, said Chuck Smith, the Chief Executive Officer of Bell Rock Brands. Now, Bell Rock began executing its integration strategy earlier this year, already yielding operational synergies and unlocking opportunities to grow revenue and cash flow. And the company has already unified its sales team in Colorado, and efforts to consolidate manufacturing and sales in other key markets already underway. And Bell Rock remains committed to growing shareholder value, and the company's buy and build growth strategy employs a three-pronged approach of enhancing its platform through strategic acquisitions, prioritizing profitable organic revenue growth, and continuously optimizing its costs and capital structure. And on a pro forma basis, assuming that BR Brands and DIXI has combined as of January 1st, Bell Rock expects to generate in excess of $40 million in revenue in 2020, with clear plans to deliver exponential revenue and cash flow in 2021 and beyond. So another house of brands combining up to create a larger house of brands and a larger multi-state operator. We've started to see this over the last year pretty continuously, and I would expect to see a few more of these, either brand companies or an extraction and producer company. But basically, a lot of these companies now are looking at the overall growth of this industry and the strength of competition that's out there, and are realizing that basically the idea of being a vertically integrated go-it-alone company is not the most sound strategy within the cannabis space, and especially when you're looking at brands. It's so difficult to build brand awareness within the cannabis industry, especially in the U.S., state by state. So for any of these houses of brands, it's a smart move for them to combine, because obviously then they get the infrastructure build out that they've already established within each state that they're in, as well as the brand awareness that takes a long time to garner with the consumers in those states. So I do think that you'll see a few more announcements like this. I do think that this is a good move, obviously, for BR Brands as well as DIXI Brands. But again, I do think this will be a trend that continues for the next year or so. And this is something that many interviews we've had in the past have discussed, which is what you're starting to see more and more as we've moved further through 2020 is a consolidation of this industry, where you see a lot of these, again, smaller niche market companies now combining to create conglomerates. Speaking of conglomerates, CURLF Holdings Incorporated announced today that it has expanded its award-winning line of select oil brand products to its 15-state Illinois, the nation's second largest adult use market after California, starting with its Select Elite Live cannabis oil cartridges. Now, Select is America's #1 cannabis oil brand, is a lifestyle brand that was acquired by CURLF in February of 2020. And Select creates a variety of high-quality products that can be found in over 1,000 dispensaries across 15 states, including Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, Nevada, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Massachusetts, and Maine. And as an industry leader, Select takes pride in having some of the most stringent and progressive testing practices in the industry and is committed to continuous innovation to ensure that their customers get the best cannabis experience possible. Now, Select Elite Live combines high-quality, high-potency THC oil with live resin extracted derived from fresh frozen flower. And created with a proprietary formula, Elite Live is designed to capture the essence of the living plant with a higher terpene content when compared to a traditional distillate cartridge. And the enhanced formula has quickly become a bestseller in every market that's launched in. In Florida alone, sales surpassed 1 million in less than 1 month. And the oil is delivered by Select's unique cartridge technology, which helps to evenly distribute heat and deliver enhanced purity, flavor, and quality. The Select brand has worked diligently to earn its place as an industry leader and is rapidly becoming the first nationally recognized cannabis brand, said Joe Bine, president at CURLF. Illinois is one of the largest adult use cannabis markets in the country, and one that has worked incredibly hard to address the need of reparation and normalization of our industry. We look forward to becoming a part of the Illinois community and serving the patients and consumers with the best-in-class cannabis consumer products available anywhere. Now, the Illinois Department of Revenue recently reported that following the legalization of adult use cannabis in the state, on January 1st, marijuana sales have been record-breaking month over month, contributing to a $100 million milestone of cannabis tax revenue collected. Select products will be available at many Illinois leading dispensaries, including greenhouses, retail locations in Deerfield, Litchfield, Morris, McKenna, and Skokie, which will fall under the CURLF umbrella and branding pending final regulatory approval. And to find a dispensary near you, near the series that carries the Select products, you can go to www.selectbetter.com and click Find Us for an interactive map of locations. So I've talked about the success of the Select brand and CURLF's launches as a multi-state operator in the past. Obviously, they're continuing to do so. And similarly to what I was discussing with BR brands and Dixie brands, forming one of these conglomerates and which helps to build out their brand state by state. CURLF has done a really great job with Select, and really what does sort of separate Select oil from a lot of its competitors within the distillate cartridge community is that it isn't just a pure distillate. You are actually getting live resin, so you're getting active terpenes. Whereas when you're comparing this to a lot of the other distillates that are out on the market, whether in Canada or the US, a large percent of them have just the THC extract as well as artificial terpenes and oil. So the difference there as far as the potency and efficacy of that as a product is extremely limited and extremely unpredictable by comparison to actual live plant resin or full plant extract. And I've talked about that before in multiple interviews where we've discussed the benefits or the sort of need for full plant spectrum products when you're looking at extracts or distillate. And a few companies have obviously went that route, and many companies have went the much cheaper and cost-effective route of, again, having these pure THC or pure CBD distillate isolates and then combining them with oil and artificial terpenes. And again, the downside of that is you lose a big percentage of the entourage effect, which is one of the most important parts of potency and efficacy and consistency for cannabis products, which a big part of why I think CURLF has had a little bit more success is they're dabbling into the medical side within Florida. That has given them, I think, a much better understanding of the market and the lay of the land, where these people can't be bullshitted with just recreational market garbage. Obviously, you look at Canada, you look at many of the states, Colorado, California, Nevada, that has a well-established recreational market. There's a big range of products. There's a lot of great stuff that's on the market. There's a lot of absolute shit. And I think that for any of these companies moving forward, they should be focusing on medical first because those patients need to have consistent dosing and consistent efficacy. Again, when we're looking at the Shoppers Drug Mart program, which I'm going to be talking about next, there can be no crap products that go into that market because if they are, pharmacists, doctors, people in the medical community cannot rely on these products. And as much as it seems confusing because the medical community does still seem to prefer isolate, as opposed to full plant spectrum, that just seems to be a gap in knowledge, and that does seem to be slowly being addressed. Moving on now to Shoppers Drug Mart Incorporated, who announced the opening of its Metasystem location in Edmonton. Owned and operated by Shoppers Drug Mart, Metasystem Incorporated is an established specialty pharmacy that provides pharmaceutical dispensing and clinical pharmacy consulting services to the senior housing community and group home facilities. Now, the new Metasystem pharmacy is committed to optimizing the health, wellness, and safety of all faculty residents through the introduction of innovative technologies, continuing education, enhanced clinical services, and seamless medication delivery. Since our inception in 1988, we've been bringing leading-edge technology and personal care to the long-term care residents across Canada, said Sandra Daniel, the Vice President of Operations and Clinical at Medical System Pharmacy. Now, the opening of our new location in Edmonton will allow us to continue to support the health and well-being of the growing number of seniors in long-term care and retirement home facilities through the most advanced, dependable, and personalized pharmacy care. And our investment today also reflects confidence in the future direction of healthcare in Alberta. Now, the Edmonton Metasystem staff will include dedicated pharmacy team, including operational and consultant pharmacists to provide on-site end-to-end support, including one-on-one counseling, and providing access to medication 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The team will be highly accessible, ensuring that the clinical needs and emergency services are fully covered. And these pharmacists specializing in senior care will also provide ongoing training and education that's tailored to optimize resident health outcomes and improve quality of life. And through a series of programs and events, including a one-to-one training and hands-on learning, Metasystem training focuses on continuous quality improvement processes, disease and drug management, health and wellness, as well as other health-related topics. And Metasystem Pharmacy has a legacy of being the first to market with innovative technology solutions, whether it be multi-dose strip packaging, comprehensive digital pen system, client care portal, e-health solutions, or state-of-the-art dispensary machines. Metasystem Pharmacy technology ensures management of all medication information in a real-time environment, resulting in the exceptional accuracy. So now they've launched another one of these into Edmonton. I do hope that the Metasystem Pharmacy continues to expand throughout provinces in Canada. I think it's a really good system, and especially during these COVID times, it's a very necessary system, as the most at-risk and the most vulnerable people during this entire pandemic are the seniors living in group homes and care facilities. They've been the majority of the deaths in Canada from COVID-related diseases, and they're also the group of people that's the least educated and the most in need of certain medications, looking at cannabis medications specifically. This is one of the biggest elements and still continues to be the most sought after group within the cannabis industry, is that 50 plus age group of people where maybe they've smoked cannabis in the past, or maybe they have some knowledge of it, or maybe they have a strong bias against this. But a lot of those groups of people are in desperate need of basic medication that's taking them away from some of the meds that they're on that are extremely damaging to their nervous system, to their internal organs, and in general just don't give them the quality of life that they should be experiencing at this time. So I do hope that there will be more continuation of this Shoppers Drug Mart program. And I do think that, again, talking a few days ago about what's going on in Australia with their medical system, I do think that this is going to be, again, the model that you're going to see distributed worldwide as far as a very successful medical cannabis system. Obviously, there's still kinks in the system. It's not as perfect as it should be, and I don't think it'll ever be that in any case. The medical system worldwide is very flawed, no matter where you look at it. But I do think that this style of system of having the pharmacists be trained directly and being the education providers when it comes to medical cannabis, and having the data and testing available for them, because they've done a series of research projects and long-term studies finding what is the most effective products to offer for which ailments and how to best offer people precise dosing. I think that strategy and that continuation of that research and working with the actual medical patients is something that, again, the global medical cannabis industry should be looking at and hopefully adopting the best parts of that system while avoiding any of the flaws. Lastly today, looking at Medical Marijuana Incorporated, who announced that subsidiary Cannaway has officially entered the U.S. CBN market with the release of 2 CBN isolate products. Now, not to be confused with CBD, which has gained significant popularity over the past few years, CBN is another non-psychoactive cannabinoid found in the cannabis plant. And like the company's full-spectrum CBD products, Cannaway's CBN products are derived from all-natural hemp. We're very excited to become one of the first major hemp-derived product producers to offer CBN, said Medical Marijuana Incorporated CEO Dr. Stuart Titus. It's been researched in several different studies, including a 300-person study just announced on October 28th for its potential sedation and sleep effects. Now, this new product line includes the Cannaway Pure CBN Liquid, which is isolated CBN is combined with sustainably sourced medium-chain triglyceride, or MCT oil, providing an abundant source of essential fatty acids that help to enhance bioavailability naturally. Offered in a 1-ounce bottle with a convenient dropper, each product delivers roughly 30 servings of 10 milligrams of CBN each. And Canaway's pure CBN gel capsules, our isolated CBN and MCT oil, are also combined but are presented in a convenient gel capsule form. Though it may be too soon to predict the growth of the potential for the CBN market, analysts at the Nutrition Business Journal predict that the sleep supplement market will grow 30.1% this year, said Canaway CEO Blake Schroeder. Now, we intend to continue to stay up to date with the most recent discoveries in cannabinoid research and offer our customers the latest, most popular ingredients available in sleep science and other categories. Medical Marijuana Incorporated getting their CBN products out onto the line. I do not like that it's focusing on isolate and as well not full spectrum. And this is one of those things as well that, yes, CBN can assist with sleep patterns, but the difficulty then becomes, and there's tons of evidence to support this, and this is why there's some competitors out there who have focused on how to deal with this issue, which is that this can severely disrupt people's sleep cycle patterns. And so once you start taking these CBN isolates on a regular basis, your actual REM sleep cycle can get extremely disrupted, and then you can become reliant on this CBN to go to sleep and can have other continuing issues afterwards. So there are other companies who have made products with CBN or with sleep-derived products with cannabis in them. And a lot of them have also focused on adding other nutraceuticals into that. There's been a few different products I've talked about in the past, but those products have been adding, again, these combined nutraceuticals that help to adjust and keep consistent your sleep REM cycle. Now, this is something that I think this company should do at some point. And this is something when you're looking at the CBN market, similarly to the CBD market. The isolate part of this industry is very much a waste of time. If you're not getting at least partial spectrum products, the efficacy of your product that you're going to be getting is going to be extremely inconsistent and extremely unpredictable. And the other downside is that there are possibly unknown side effects, similar to the pharmaceutical industry, where you're getting extremely isolated compounds that are being then given to you in a high dose format. This is the same issue that we can run into with CBN, CBG, CBD. It doesn't matter. Even just straight pure THC when it's coming to distillate. It's not the way our endocannabinoid system is meant to consume or receive cannabis. And I do think that some of these companies are paying attention to that and creating some amazing products out there that are combining, again, nutraceuticals and the proper elements to create this plant synergy product that creates a beautiful symphony of effects. A lot of other companies are focusing on isolates and trying to collect these molecules. And the downside with these molecules is they do require the other many myriad cannabinoid molecules to interact with to create the best effect. And I do think that this is going to be the continuous battle in the cannabis industry of the more pharmaceutical and medical grade cannabis, which is focusing on isolates and trying to create these consistent results. But again, the fact that they're focusing on isolates is what's creating the inconsistency. Whereas, again, partial spectrum or full spectrum with natural terpenes creates much more consistent results and much more effective results. So I do hope that some companies realize where they need to be heading and which directions they need to be going. Again, I'm sure Medical Marijuana Incorporated, as they've just entered into the CBN space, will be changing their products at some point. And I'm sure there will be studies that show the ups and downs of pure isolate CBN, just like there will be studies that show the pure ups and downs of CBD. And we've already seen that. And one of the biggest reasons that, again, an isolate is maybe not the direction to go for any of these companies is also the amount that needs to be consumed to get any effect. Where you're looking at partial spectrum or full spectrum CBD products, you can get by with about a 50 milligram dosage. When you're looking at products that are pure isolate, sometimes you need to go up to 200 to 300 milligrams and above. And that type of dosing is purely crazy. And the same thing, or these products are at a lower dosage and they have zero effect whatsoever. The same type of effect you would have from, eating a healthy meal or eating a couple of vitamins. It's minuscule over the long-term effects. And is really just a small Band-Aid solution. That's all for today's podcast. And once again, today's podcast is sponsored by Cannabis Swiss Corporation, trading on the OTC as CSUI, a fully licensed cannabis cultivation and distribution company in Switzerland for recreational tobacco products and medical CBD oils. That's all for today's podcast. Podcast is now a certified word trademark on the blockchain through Cognate Incorporated CM certification. InvestorIdeas.com podcasts are also available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and TuneIn. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor of this podcast, please contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website, and this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products or services or securities. Investors are reminded that all investments involve risk and possible loss of investment. Investor Ideas does not condone the use of cannabis except where permissible by law. Our site does not possess, distribute, or sell cannabis products.